All right, Seasoned Rookies Podcast. It's Prez,
Jay.
Nelly.
and we are
Seasoned
rookies. So we got a special guest once again. This is episode number 20. 20. Hugo, step up to the mic.
Hello.
Hugo is well versed in many sports.
Thank you.
Which ones?
I'm a lover of figure skating. I'm a lover of traditional basketball. I have a little fondness
Whoa,
for
traditional basketball.
We gotta-
What does that mean, like peach baskets
I'm,
and
I'm-
like?
I'm talking
that
about
90s?
old school. I'm talking about
70s?
90s, 80s. Nothing in the 2000s. Nothing with people like
Wow, you gotta
Howard
leave.
or
You gotta leave.
Like
The door's
Howard.
over there.
they're not athletes. They're
Wow.
just
Okay, the door is over there.
overpriced,
Sweater.
overpaid,
Wow.
got nothing to give
My
me,
sweater,
got
y'all.
no
Gotta go.
love.
Getting hot in
Oh,
here.
wow.
What?
No, I don't like Curry. No, I don't like
okay.
Thompson. I don't like none of these players.
All right, well,
I don't like all the Raptors, so I guess we're in the same.
Yeah, we're on the same boat. I'm on that boat too. I'm on that boat.
so let's start off with UFC.
Yes.
You know a lot more than probably all of us here.
Okay.
Yes.
So spread the
Spread the love. So I was fortunate enough to go to MSG 205 the first time that UFC in over 20 years of existence was able to come into Madison Square Gardens, which I would say is the most hallowed building of athletic combat sports in the world. Places where Frazier fought, places where Ali fought. And the fact that UFC was finally able to get into New York, which seemed like an unattainable reality about 10 years ago, was amazing. And to be in that crowd, I'm not going to lie, and I've never seen so many Irish people in my life.
Why couldn't they get New York?
Well, yeah.
Why couldn't they get New York?
They couldn't get into New York because New York banned all kind of combat sport that was not boxing related because there was an incident between some athletes in a Muay Thai fight,
Oh,
right? So
I never
because
knew
of that, they didn't want to allow other sports to come in, and there were lots of different rules that existed. And even with UFC coming into New York, you have to have additional insurance to even have the athletes compete, which means most other full combat sports would not be able to do that, whether that's K1, kickboxing, or Muay Thai or other things.
What
Because
if Knicks
they-
fans fight each other in the building?
they do all
Not
the
bad
time.
team.
Yeah,
They-
Knicks fans.
They gotta fight something.
Is that outlawed?
Well, they gotta
They
fight
got a
something.
bad
Ain't
team
no
for a
game to
while.
watch. Like, this is entertainment.
Oh boy.
So yeah, like UFC is a passion of me. Like I did martial arts for a number of years and love it, and I love where it's going. I love the enthusiasm and the ability to articulate a very charismatic narrative, which is Conor McGregor. There's never been an athlete like this other than Ali
Oh,
in
yes.
combat sports to talk the talk, to walk the walk, and more importantly, to get money. To ask for money. First athlete in MMA to ever be on the Forbes top earning sports athletes
Really?
with over $20 million.
I don't like Conor.
You don't like Connor?
Elaborate. Let me hear why.
I don't like him.
This person, like, what,
Why?
he's too braggy? Like, is he too
Yeah, he just
showboaty?
talks too much. I just like I don't know much about UFC.
Huh.
When he talked and Diaz beat him, right?
Yeah, Diaz.
Yeah,
I
Diaz
love
is-
that. I was like,
yeah.
yeah, okay, good.
So it's, to me, like the Diaz is a good example. So you have Nick and Nate, both amazing jiu-jitsu practitioners out of Sacramento, old school, very much like traditionalists. And the problem that I have with them is that they have all the skill but none of the will. Whereas Conor McGregor is someone that has both skill and will. And you guys look at it realistically, like no one can tell how tall I am. I'm about 6'4", 255. And Conor McGregor is about 5'6" and $150. And he
Wow.
fought someone in Nate Diaz that is 6'2" and walks around at 200 pounds.
Wow.
Right? Like there is no MMA fighters that are going up in weight class up or down to fight ever. And he is the 145 champion that went up to 170. And when he weighed in, he couldn't even make 170. He was at like 166
Oh, wow.
with clothes.
right,
With clothes.
right.
Right? So when he beat that man the second time, and people were like, it's not that good. I'm just like, I don't think you guys can appreciate how much weight that is behind a punch and
Yeah.
someone who's taller than you.
Right.
We're talking about a little man fighting a big man.
Yeah.
Muggsy Bogues versus Howard.
Yeah.
Who's going to win? Howard.
Yeah.
Right.
Every day, all day.
Yeah.
Right.
Muggsy might dunk on him once, but that's about it. So for Conor to do what he did was pretty amazing, pretty impressive. at 202 to win that fight, that second fight. They're going to have a trilogy for sure, probably at 155.
So
Yeah.
Floyd has been calling McGregor McTap out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The McTap out comes out of the first fight between Nate Diaz, where Conor McGregor tapped out when he was being choked.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at that fight from an analysis of what he was doing strategically, he looked like he got hit. Right? Everyone's jaw can re-rock. Like, no one has a rock chin. You get hit in the right place, you're gonna go down. And he got
course.
hit,
Right.
and he looked afraid.
Mm-hmm.
So he went to shoot on a taller fighter, a very common wrestling move, and got choked out by
Yeah.
someone who's an amazing jiu-jitsu practitioner. Why he did that is because he didn't want to get knocked out.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why he did it.
Right.
So when Floyd's talking about him tapping out, yeah, he tapped out.
Right.
Like, he just didn't want to be knocked out. It's kind of like me looking at Mayweather and De La Hoya when they fought. Everyone anybody that loves boxing, anybody that loves combat sports knows that De La Hoya won.
Yeah.
He did not lose that fight,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, when finally Mayweather stepped in the ring with Pac-Man is when Pac-Man was done.
Yes.
He dared not go fight him in his prime because he would have got knocked out. And I would actually say that Mayweather would like to fight someone like Conor because he knows that it would generate and break every pay-per-view gate ever in combat sports would be
Exactly.
broken. You have the black versus white narrative. You have the American versus the Irish subtext. You have MMA versus boxing. The purists that love boxing and the people that love MMA and other martial arts are going to go behind Conor. And I actually think that if that fight ever came to fruition, Conor could win. If he hits him, he will lose. Will he hit him is another question.
Right.
Ooh.
Well, Floyd did something McGregor did something that Floyd hasn't done. McGregor's went up and fought against someone who's
Yes.
bigger than him. Floyd's always fought someone within his same weight
Yes.
class.
That's
He's
true.
n-
He
he's
fights
never-
at 147,
yes.
which is welterweight.
Yep.
The equivalent would be him right now fighting a middleweight, which is
Mhm.
about 15 pounds heavier. And like that's Alvarez, Triple G, guys like that where he does not stand a chance.
He would die. He would be murked.
I'd give him
Triple G would assassinate the man, send him a bouquet, and be like, "I'm sorry.
right.
I'm sorry, money."
I might
You
give him a
lost."
few rounds, but he wouldn't go the distance.
No.
No.
He and like that's what I've never ever been a fan of money because he never went up. He avoided people that were in his prime.
Yes.
He was never someone that was looking to actually throw down. He is not like Roberto Duran, hands of stone. He's the shit. He is not Sugar Ray Leonard. He is not even Ali. He's
No.
not like he picked and chose his fights, and he was very strategic in the way that he navigated his career. And kudos to him as a businessman in the athletic combat sport arena. He is number one
Yeah.
by far. As a quality pound per pound fighter, mixing lots of other types of fighters, including, he's not even in my top 20.
Oh,
I feel like for some reason Floyd avoids good fights. Like I feel like, as you mentioned in our second podcast about how like the guys who can fight him and could beat him, he won't challenge himself to do that. Like I feel like Ali would fight people who he thought could beat him. That's why he was a great athlete. Whereas Floyd is like, if he could beat me, I don't know if I want to fight him. This guy, like he's more strategic as to who he's fighting.
Right.
This is why like he would never be on the same level of those guys to me.
For
Well,
sure.
Yeah.
One thing I will give him is he has a great resume of he has fought good fighters early out in his career. As of late, he's been kind of since it became like he changed his name to Money, and since the Money Time, then boxing say 50 years ago, you didn't have that. You get to choose. You had mandatories where you had to fight. The game's changed literally, where now you can pick and choose depending on who your promoter is, and because he's in the self promotion, literally Mayweather Promotions, he gets to do that. I do want to mention though, in regards to Floyd, and right now when he is fighting, like the upcoming Pacquiao, what do you think if that does happen?
Who wins?
Who wins?
Pacquiao.
You think Pacquiao?
Really?
I think if you look at that fight, all horrible rounds of it, slow, tedious, blah blah blah.
It was.
It was. I almost passed out during the 6th round. I was at Real Sports with a group of friends, and all I kept thinking was the meatloaf is better than this fight, which is always a bad thing when you're watching combat stuff.
Wow.
And
Real.
I was like, you know what? if they ever fight again, and if it is true that Pacquiao had some issues with his shoulder and his arm before the fight and needed to get a cortisol shot in the upcoming fight of Mayweather, do I think in a rematch Mayweather would lose? Yes. Because I think there's a due diligence and hunger that Pac-Man has, and he's a proudful man that would want to avenge that loss more than anything else. And I think that's what he could do.
Jay, who wins, Pacquiao or Mayweather, if that were to happen?
Oh, I want Pacquiao too. It's never gonna happen.
You don't think the fight's gonna
I
happen?
want McGregor to fight or Mayweather.
You want McGregor?
Yeah. You know
I
why? Because
do
I want them to
actually.
simultaneously punch each other in the head and knock each other out. And that's it. I don't want to hear about either of them. They can both shut the hell up, and then we can move on with life.
Nelly, who do you say
I'd enjoy
if that fight happens?
Mayweather.
You think Mayweather?
I do. I think Pacquiao. I think he's a great boxer. I just feel like for some reason Mayweather just fights smart. Like he just fights in a smart way.
No, you're right.
And I feel like he'll find a way, even if they knock him out, he'll find a way to just win based off of just like, I don't know. I feel like, I just have a feeling he would win.
You know, the funny thing is, I would go for Pacquiao if that fight happened. I just have a feeling Floyd would do something to pull it out. I do. I have a feeling you're right. He
fights
he'd find a way to
smart.
win.
Really smart fighter.
Great, but he is a good boxer. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Like,
Great defense.
Yes.
Beautiful defense.
Yes.
Like he took he could teach a master class on defense and boxing. Like anybody should watch his footwork. The way that he uses his lateral movement, his shoulder movement is amazing. Like it's unlike any other boxer that I can think of this era.
coming up, Christmas season, December 30th. Ronda Rousey?
207. Ronda Rousey is back. Can she beat Amanda Nunes, who is an amazing jiu-jitsu fighter? She can fight everywhere like Rousey can, but also the first LGBTQ fighter in the fight game to be there. She's lesbian. Girlfriend's hot. Also a fighter.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. They were at the 205. I saw them in
That's old news now.
I saw them in the crowd.
Yeah.
Basketball players, who cares now?
Yeah. So what do you think?
Ain't no gay basketball players.
Jason Collins.
Can you name me 12? If you
No,
name
but
me
I'm saying,
12,
like,
I'll
it's
give you
not a big
$20.
deal anymore.
Well,
Like, it's not.
well, that hasn't
you know
come
what I said?
out.
I'll give you $20 right now if you can name 12 gay NBA players.
They might still be.
You want 20? Because I got
Hey,
I got the
there's-
cash money right now.
There's 12 that I think are gay, but
There might be. You never know. They
we'll
just
talk
haven't
about
said
that
anything.
offline. I don't want to put it out in public.
You
know
know
what I'm
those
saying?
gay men, but they're not out. They're not out. Like,
Yeah.
you know what? I said this to someone the other day because a conversation struck up on the TTC, public transit here in Toronto, is that can someone name 5 elite or average athletes
No, they'll never
within
be elite.
MLB, NHL, NFL, ATP, WTA, NASCAR, F1, whatever you have that are gay?
Yeah.
Openly.
Openly.
Are there
Openly.
gay people?
That's
of
the
course.
difference. That's
the
Lesbians,
difference.
of course.
What's funny
openly.
is that there's I think women in the sports world are more accepted because there's so many lesbians that are athletes that are females, and them coming out has never been a problem.
Yeah.
Because I had friends who were pitchers who got scholarships to the States, and they had a lot of lesbians on their team, and no one cared. It was like, yeah, you're lesbian, no problem. But I feel like for men, it's much difficult.
For sure, the
to be-
machismo that exists, the
Yeah.
hyper masculinity, and this kind of image of like, I gotta look and say and be a very specific way, and that means like not being gay. Like I can't be gay because
Yeah.
that doesn't fit the hyper masculine image I'm trying to market.
Yeah.
And I gotta market, especially I think of like NFL players, right? You have a limited span as an athlete in the NFL. You got to make as much paper as you can in a limited time. You can't risk saying you're gay
Yeah.
because you might not be playing for 5 years.
It's
Whatever
true.
money you can get on advertisement is going to carry you forward.
Yeah, it's true.
So Rousey, she's been out of action for a year.
A year. She's been MIA for 1 year.
Poor
She's done a
Ronda.
couple things. Like her first interview back was not with Bleacher Report. It was not with ESPN. It was not with the Fight MMA Hour. It was with Ellen. Ellen DeGeneres was her first interview
Really?
after a year, talking about how she doesn't have that many fights left, which makes me think she realized, like, do I want to get punched in the face and knocked out? She was knocked out severely with a beautiful roundhouse kick to the neck and jaw. And I remember a quote that she said is, "I cannot eat an apple." Right? So you can't eat an apple? Your jaw is that messed up and jacked up. You cannot eat an apple?
But apples are hard to eat, though. Think
Shit.
about it.
You get a soft one, though.
Was that porridge or corn? Apples kind of hard to eat.
What
Still.
Applesauce.
Applesauce.
Oh,
So, yeah, I'm interested to see her fight. I think she will be knocked out in round 1. I'm going to say 3 minutes in, she'll be knocked
give
out.
her no hope, huh?
Zero hope.
You know what's
Nunez
funny?
is
I
a
was thinking the
beast.
same thing. I don't think Ronda's gonna win this fight. Like I
No.
love Ronda. I love her tenacity. I think she's a great fighter. Well, I think she had like years of she was always undefeated, right? I think. her
Yeah,
first-
she was undefeated until
like-
she fought Holly Holm,
Yeah.
and Holly Holm was a boxing champion in 3 different divisions,
Mm-hmm.
and she's never been known, Holly Holm, as a
Exactly.
knockout
No.
boxer,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she moved into Muay Thai and K1 and started doing well, but she was beating the out of Rousey before she was knocked out by the kick.
Yes.
Like you watch that and it almost seemed like a Van Damme double impact kind of movie because you're like, holy,
double impact.
Rousey just fell trying to punch someone. Like I was like, are we watching Steven Seagal or Van Damme? Like it seems surreal
Yeah.
that this athlete that everyone said was going to be undefeated in her storied career was manhandled in every possible way
Yeah.
by
Mhm.
Holm.
Right.
I feel like as a fighter, right? And you were a fighter before. Like I feel like if you were undefeated for so long and you get embarrassed publicly,
Yes.
nationally on a global scale, when you come back, I don't think your confidence will ever be the same. You won't
No.
come back ever as confident, as strong as you were before that.
Agreed.
So I feel
100%.
like the post mortem of her fight, I don't think she's ever gonna be the same. I think she's changed.
We got to recognize
Yeah.
she said something that was both honest and vulnerable and also problematic. She said after she was knocked out that she was contemplating suicide. And her exact words were, if I'm not this, then what am I?
Really?
Right? She gets knocked out and she's like, if I'm not this, if I'm not like UFC champion, then what am I? And she openly said that and made me think like that's some hard shit when someone has been so emotionally, psychologically impacted by losing, then she has been brought up in the wrong way in the context of the instructors and teachers that she has, because they would say, you do the best that you can. You are not invincible.
Yes.
No one is.
Well, she thought she was, right?
Or she thought she was. And the fact that she thought she was and she believed it fundamentally means that when she comes back and she steps in that ring and has all those jitters and nervousness that anyone would have if you're fighting in any context. And she looks across the cage at someone that's smiling at her and is eager and is like, this is my payday.
Yeah.
This is the greatest day of my life because I'm going to knock you out and make so much money that I will be set for the rest of my life. Thank you, Rousey, for coming back and letting me do this to you.
Wow.
So she is going to get crushed in one round, knockout, bleeding. And I'm going to go 50-50 over under that she actually retires immediately after.
Yeah, I think if she loses, like, why would she fight again?
Jay, she win or lose?
Rousey?
Yeah,
Lose.
You think she's gonna lose?
I don't know much about women.
it's okay. It's cool.
Yeah, she loses.
You think so?
Yeah,
I
she's
think she'll
fighting
lose.
someone that is a different type of fighter, right?
What?
She can strike.
If she wins, it'll be a bigger story, though, right?
Of
Yeah,
course.
of
Like
course.
if Rousey can
Maybe I
win,
wanted to win. I don't know.
right? If Rousey can win, it will be huge. And the UFC is very strategic, and what they've done, especially now that they got bought out,
Did they
for,
rig the fight?
is that they've set up a middle.
fight.
They've set up the next new championship at 145. So in Brooklyn,
Right.
first time in BK,
Right.
there's going to be a fight with Holly Holm and an unknown fighter. And I don't know
Right.
about you guys. You create a new championship in the women's division of 145. You don't start that with someone who lost their last 2 fights and someone who has fought at that weight class sporadically in their career. And this is the world championship at 145 by UFC, kind of planning and hoping that Rousey can win and be the champion, and she can face her nemesis in Holly Holm, champion versus champion, 135, 145. Let's break the pay-per-view and make a lot of paper.
Oh, for sure.
Of
That's the
course.
plan. That's what they're hoping for, but I don't think that's going to happen. Nunez is going to slaughter her.
That girl looks like, I saw her fight. I saw like her fighting, and I'm like, this girl can like.
She's a beast.
She's
Well,
gully. Like she's.
I didn't
gully.
give home much of a chance when she fought Rousey
Mhm.
as being the underdog, and it happened. So I'm gonna flip it. And I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna say Ronda Rousey could pull it out and get a win.
I think she could win. I just think from watching the tapes of this girl, she's gonna fight.
Nah.
I don't know, man.
And she's a scary fighter because
she's scary.
She's
She scares me.
scary,
And I'm on my couch at home.
like,
She
she's-
scares me.
she's a scary fighter, and like it's interesting to see like she talks about it like on her Instagram and on her like social media about like her girlfriend and her training together, and like they beat the shit out of each other. But because she's such a quick fighter, she's sparring with guys consistently. Whereas like Rousey has been protected. The coach that she has is like notoriously shitty. He has no fighter that's done well. Travis Brown, that fights under the SEM kind of camp, has lost his last 3 fights under Rousey's coach. He's shitty, and more props to Rousey's mom, who's a psychologist, PhD, double PhD, smart as shit.
Wow.
First judokai to win a world championship in judo, female American ever. And she said, my daughter's coach is shit. He's a shit instructor. He's a shitty person. And he's lucky as shit that my daughter walked into a shitty ass gym, because now he's actually making money. Because if it wasn't for Rousey, her coach would have nothing. So she's still with the same coach. She just got knocked out. Do I think she's going to do well? No.
I just don't think she'll come out the same, guys. The
Nope.
old Ronda's
All right.
gone forever.
We missed you. We love you. See you later. Watch you back on like my USB at the fights. Thank you.
Tim Duncan, retirement.
Oh, wow.
Can we give it up for Tim Duncan?
Duncan.
Tim.
Amazing career.
He
Fundamental.
He is the most boring player to watch, but he's so fundamental. You can't hate on him, but he's
At
so
all.
boring
Love
to watch.
him. I love it.
He's not flashy at all.
He's like Malba toast. I love that shit.
Jay?
Greatest power forward ever.
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 Yes.
Without question.
Yeah.
Without question.
I want to draw a similarity between Tim Duncan and Tom Brady. Tim and Tom.
Tim and Tom.
Yeah. So
Sounds like a podcast.
yeah, both of them, it just kind of made me think, well, they both spent their entire career same place. Pretty much going to retire legendary.
True.
And I said, let me just look into the similarities in regards to their accolades. Strikingly, Tim Duncan, 5-time champion, 3-time finals MVP, and 2 times MVP. Tom Brady, 4 times Super Bowl, 3 times Super Bowl MVP, and 2-time MVP. So similar in
Very
regards to,
Yeah.
and even if you think about it, their relationship that they've had with their coach is similar also.
Impeccable.
Popovich from day one,
Belichick.
Belichick from day one.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, 2 legends at the end of their career, ironically around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I just found it very striking, so I thought I'd just bring it up. In regards to Tim Duncan, as you say, best power forward ever. I just want to throw something out real quick. If you had a do-over, Kobe, who would you take? Or who would you rather on your
Kobe or Tim
team?
Duncan?
Yeah, who would you rather? If you had to start a team with one player.
Can I just ask clarification?
Go
What's
ahead.
my position in this team? Am I the owner? Am I the coach? Or am I a player?
That's
Okay,
very
that's
true.
true. Let's say that you are. Let's say you're a coach, actually.
You're a coach.
Just because we're drawing the Popovich, Belichick comparison here. Say you're a coach and you had one player that you had. Who would you want, Kobe or Tim Duncan?
Sorry, I got
Go ahead.
something. It's hard to compare. Only reason why is because a football quarterback's impact versus a power forward. I feel like a quarterback, you only work with the offensive line. You're more. It's a different relationship because Tom Brady's teammates don't really talk. Like, I feel like he's kind of like an outsider on his team sometimes, whereas Tim Duncan is the leader. Like, he is a good leader on and off the court. So it's hard to compare a football
I was
franchisee player or a basketball franchisee
I'm just going to touch
player.
on that and actually say I think you're wrong.
Really?
Because I would say Tom Brady, from what I know of Brady, he's a beast. He's 6'3". He looks like he's like 5 foot nothing, but he's a big man.
Yeah, he's tall. Yeah.
He tells everyone on his team what to do, when to do it. The only other person that supersedes him is Belichick. And I don't think there's any quarterback I've seen other than maybe Aaron Rodgers,
Peyton
that
Manning.
is like, you do what I
Mhm.
want, or I'm going to make sure you get no contract, no paper, and you will be gone. Because I've taken a shitty ass player and made them a star in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Everyone hates both of them. too.
No, but no,
Yeah.
no. But I agree with you that what I meant about is like on the sideline. I feel like Tim Duncan. I think he's more camaraderie with his teammates. No, you don't think so?
I don't know, man. I think
Off,
he's like
off the court.
I think he's
off
like
the court.
a silent leader. You know what I mean?
like
I
a
think
silent, just like
a
more
he's a
business, more
silent,
work.
deadly assassin. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, I think people that love ball, right? Like,
Yeah.
agree. They like best power forward ever,
Mhm.
ever, no
Mhm.
question, no doubt.
Mhm.
But outside of the circle of NBA fanatics or ball fanatics, people don't know who Duncan is.
No.
Yeah,
you
it's true.
you see him at like Loblaws, you'd be like, that's a really tall man. Like, you wouldn't know. You see
Yeah.
Brady,
Yes,
you're like,
he's
who's this
marketable.
good looking GQ?
Yeah, he's marketable.
Who's that? Who's his wife? Holy shit, she looks like a model. Cause she is.
She's a model.
Cause she is.
So Kobe or Tim Duncan?
I think
Kobe.
Tim. I think Tim would be easier for me to work
You
with.
take Kobe?
No, I'm taking Tim Duncan.
I'm
Yeah.
taking
I thought you
Duncan
were
all day.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Tim would be easier
I'll-
to work with as a
I'll
coach.
take-
Oh my God.
I would take Tim Duncan too. That's why I was.
But I wouldn't take Tim Duncan in the last 2 minutes of a basketball game.
You take Kobe.
You take Kobe?
Of
Yeah.
course, because he can close out
Oh,
games.
he's offense though. Like he's fire, but like he's uncontrollable fire.
Hmm.
And that's what, like, he never, to me, if he had been more like Duncan, then he would have won way, 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 way more.
Mm.
And you can tell, like, his own players and people that have played with him didn't necessarily love him,
Mhm.
right? Whereas like someone like Duncan, people loved him. Like, people, like,
Yeah.
I can
It's
imagine that
true.
locker room, everyone just like, yo, please don't do this. He's like, I got to.
Yeah.
Like crying, like, don't
Yeah.
leave. Like, you're a good person and you're a great player.
Yeah. I've never heard someone say they don't like Tim
Never.
Duncan. Like
Yeah.
even if you don't
Never.
like him, you respect him. You know,
Yes.
like
That's true.
so. But Tim Duncan, he's a great guy.
Right, so like you can't, like, as a coach, you can never build anything with someone like Kobe, depending on what you can leverage. Like, if I'm the coach and I bring this guy in, I'm like, yo, he's fire.
Mm-hmm.
He is fire. He's gonna be great in the last 2 minutes. He's gonna be great in the fourth quarter. But what if he shits the ball and doesn't pass for the first, second, and third, and we're down by 25 at halftime? Is he gonna come back and maybe have a miraculous win? Maybe, but
Mhm.
1 out of 10 times he's gonna do
Yeah.
that. 1 out of 10 times.
So there may be, see how we talk about on off season Olajuwon training. I think we may be talking about Duncan training. I don't know if you heard Pau
Oh,
Gasol.
really?
Oh yeah.
Pau Gasol.
Mm.
He was with the Spurs practice a few weeks ago, and he was doing one-on-one specifically with Pau Gasol in the post.
Wow.
And I guess they were
Wow.
playing a one-on-one game at the end where if Pau scores, it's a point, and if Duncan stops him from scoring, it's a point. Ended in a tie. But even Pau was saying, even from that one-on-one training with Tim Duncan,
Mm-hmm.
he's really learned a lot. And imagine,
Wow.
like, that could really there's so much to learn from Tim Duncan.
That's
A lot
amazing.
to
That's
learn.
amazing.
You know? And I could see other players
Hmm.
doing what they do with Hakeem Olajuwon,
Mm-hmm.
with Tim Duncan. Because why would you not want to learn
One of the greatest.
fundamentals? It's not leaving. His footwork was. It wasn't Olajuwon like with the
Mhm.
pivots,
Mm-hmm.
but he was all about angles and patience and working the body. And yeah, I think it's not the end of the road for Tim Duncan. He'll still be around in basketball. I think.
That's amazing. That's an
Absolutely.
amazing. I didn't know that fact. That's amazing to see someone like Paul Gasol, who's like, he's a great player,
Mhm.
probably the best Spanish player I've seen ever.
Mhm.
And like, that's a huge compliment that he would, have that connection with Duncan.
Mhm.
And if Duncan can do
Mhm.
like an Olajuwon,
Mhm.
I'm excited to see like what happens with these players.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Like, send the whole Raptors team. Just send them over.
I was gonna
Send
say
it, like,
that.
whatever you need, Duncan, we'll give it to you. Just take the whole damn team and give them a little bit of your sprinkle magic. Just a bit.
It's so scary. I mean, I feel like a lot of the athletes that we grew up watching are all like retiring. Are we getting old? I
Yeah.
feel like
I'm
Yeah.
fucking old, man.
like everyone I grew up watching as a kid is all like retiring, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
It's so true. I'm like, who are these people? Like, I don't
all
know
these
who
like
you are.
21-year-olds
Like,
playing. I'm like,
you could be my son. I'm old. Like,
oh, too much, man.
So the Pro Bowl for the NFL
Mm-hmm.
is moving to Orlando.
Boring.
Confusion.
Yeah.
Who
Next
watches?
topic.
I watch a
who
Pro
watches
Bowl.
a Pro Bowl?
I watched a
Next
Pro Bowl
topic.
since like I was like 12.
Boring.
Agreed. Boring. I just don't care.
Yeah, it's
This is the worst thing ever. Worst All-Star like game or whatever.
Honestly, it is the worst.
It's the worst.
Hands down.
And it
Worst.
shouldn't. Like, why is it so bad? Like, why?
I think they're just
Well, they don't want to
tired,
get
injured, right? Like,
yeah, it's
Insert
about-
cricket sound here. Nobody cares. Just like the CFL.
whoa.
Boring.
Come on.
Come on, CFL's their national,
What?
football. It's an amazing game. Quality, diversity, the skill that's
Yo.
there.
Boring.
I was defending CFL.
I'm being
as-
sarcastic.
Oh
And
my
the
God.
CFL.
Nobody.
No one wants the
Nobody
CFL.
cares about the CFL.
I don't watch it personally,
Joke.
but I will watch the scores, and I do care.
I don't watch it. I'm
sometimes.
not going to discredit it.
I'm not
but-
going to discredit it.
I had tickets to the Grey Cup and I did not go. I'm not even lying. I
Okay,
was
so you
given
know what?
tickets and I was like, no, thank you. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm going to Swiss Chalet.
Yeah.
And I'm not
Good
even
idea.
joking.
You'd more fun at
Next
Swiss
time,
Chalet.
give it to me. I will go to the game.
Next time, I will give you those tickets
Yes,
to any
please.
damn CFL game you want. You let me know.
The reason why I brought up the Pro Bowl is this. Back in the day, it was always in Hawaii for a reason.
Why though? Do you know why?
No,
it
why
was
was
Hawaii?
it?
You congratulate the players. You send them off to Hawaii. Being a player, it's actually a big deal to get to go to Hawaii on the celebration. Hawaii is like it's like Jamaica. It's like a destination place, and
Yeah,
to play
yeah.
football there,
Just
it's a
adds
big
another-
deal.
Mm-hmm.
But thing is, attendance in Hawaii is dropping, and
Yeah, it's expensive
interest,
to go there. Actually,
yeah, interest is dropping. So they're saying, okay, you know what? We're not as the NFL. We're not going to send them over to Hawaii anymore. Let's try something different and have it in Orlando.
Is NFL having money problems?
Well,
You can
For
afford Hawaii.
what? People don't even go to Magic games. Who do you expect them to go to free?
Aren't they like the most lucrative league
Yeah.
by far? When
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't afford to go anywhere? Like
Well-
Maui? What?
well, it's just the interest is not there at all.
Do it in Toronto.
We'll fill it.
I think they should do in Toronto actually.
That would be
but
kind of cool,
but where
actually.
would they-
That's a good
I
idea.
told you,
that'd be a
but
good
that-
idea.
that's
Throw
a
it out
great
there.
idea.
Thanks,
Imagine that.
Jay.
Rogers
Like,
Center.
He's like, I won't go.
They'll fill
I
that.
still
They
won't
would
go
fill
regardless.
that.
I'm not
Fill
going.
that.
Although I'd rather go to that than Grey Cup. But
Fuck the CFL.
yeah, who cares?
All right. So actually, one thing on the NFL is the Rooney Rule, the NFL Rooney Rule. It has to do with the hiring of minority executives, and Anthony Lynn from the Bills, their offensive coordinator, he applied for a gig with the Jets, and he didn't get it. And now he's with Buffalo as their coordinator. He's actually come out and said that he's not really for the Rooney Rule, which is he's saying they should hire coaches and executives based on their merit opposed to their color.
I mean, I think that's can be discussed in many other positions in the world, right? We hear that they all try to hire minorities in terms of different positions. I just feel like in the NFL, having the first black coaches and having black quarterbacks is now becoming more, they're giving other minorities opportunity to get these positions. 'Cause back in the day, it was all white people, right?
Right.
I don't think you should discredit the rule. I think it should still be in place. And I think sometimes minorities don't get jobs because of the color of their skin. It does happen in the States. So I don't think taking it away. I think even if you're a person of minority, if you're qualified, you get an interview either way. But I don't think you get a job because of your skin color. I don't think I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
Okay, but if you say you don't think they get a job because of their skin color, on the reverse side, if they didn't have the Rooney Rule, that's why they were getting positions because of their skin color, because they were white, right?
It's true. It will always be a hard balance, right? Because I feel like they should give but I think sometimes in any type of career path, it's who you know, not what you know, right? If you have friends, if your father was a coach and they go to a country club and they golf together, and my son wants a job, like a lot of people are getting hired through golf courses and through who they know, not really through interviews anymore. So, but a lot of time people who are minority aren't really in those types of settings to get that type of camaraderie. So I do feel the rules should be in place because it is unfair for people. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, that's my point of it.
Yeah, I think it's a mandatory, necessary rule. I think if you look at the NFL in its historical context of racial diversity amongst assistants and amongst head coaches and amongst quarterbacks, it traditionally has not been very good. So I think a rule like this being in place, to me, is a real necessity. And I would question the kind of logic or validity behind this assistant coach from the Bills, because when I heard that, immediately popped in my head, and I thought about as a racialized man, as someone in a beautiful brown body, I always think of people. Yo, don't laugh. It's true. Don't laugh because it's look. Are you people looking at me? You can't see what these guys are appreciating. But again, as a brown man in this beautiful brown body, when people look at me, they see that, right? So like, no one can look at me and be like, I am colorblind. No, you're not colorblind. Of course you see that I am not. I am the other. Everything that is not white is the other within American culture, Canadian culture, Western culture. That's the reality. That's why racism permeates within every sector, including, and more importantly, within athletics.
Yes.
Because there might be a rule like this to me that is in place that someone might say is not advantageous or should be taken away, but they're not keeping into context. How many of the owners of the NFL are non-white? How many? So I'm 100% in favor of this rule. It's a rule that should probably be in place in every professional league that doesn't want to acknowledge that racism exists. And to me, the irony is because racism is so overt in places like the Italian league, the football league in Spain, La Liga, and the Premier League, that if you go to any of these games, there is a banned motion every day that says no racism in our sport. No racism in our sport.
Wow.
Right? How come we don't have that in the NFL? How come we don't have that in the NHL? Because I remember Subban, PK, talking about people throwing bananas at him.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Like, so rules like this should be in place because they foster and create diversity that the owners and the institutional racism that exists does not want to allow.
Yeah.
Brown and black and East Asian, South Asian, everyone to be at that forefront. And if you're not at the table, then you're not going to be the one that's making a decision. You're not going to be signing that sweet, lucrative contract with a cable company. You're not going to be there to do anything else. So this rule, to me, is a beautiful thing that at least the NFL is attempting to do.
Yeah.
Let's spread the love to other leagues.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. I agree too.
Yeah, man.
Although, yeah, I agree.
Well,
Although I believe that racism will never end, as much as we'd all love it too. And not just speaking on.
Yeah.
I think
it is what it is.
The only reason why I say it will, because I think like race.
And I'm not saying racist like white. I'm saying of all people. Like
I think
white, blacks towards whatever, and
but I
brown
think like
towards just
race,
like
gender, are socially constructed things. So
you always hear about
what
it,
we've built historically, one day, not in our lifetime.
Yeah, no,
that's what I mean. Like I won't ever see it come to an end. It may come to an end when I'm dead.
Like my
gone, kids, for sure. Like I could see racism, like sexism, would have fallen away, and we'd hate something else.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a
Tim Duncan.
This is a rant.
They'll hate like people that are
Kobe.
No, it's true. Yeah, I think it's systemic, and it started. If you study history, racism was a move made by powerful people to gain power, right, and to separate themselves from other people. So that's why it existed in our Western, world. So yeah.
Okay. So let's get into some call up, call out. Those who don't know.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell is that?
What is that?
Call up something or someone or that you want to be recognized. So we bring them up, discuss it, and call out is something that you're not impressed with, and you got to call them out, and we discuss that also. First up, call out.
Bernard Hopkins.
You calling
this
them
man
up?
in 2008 said a white guy will never beat me. Not only did he get beat by Joe Calzaghe,
the best Italian boxer.
then
Calzaghe was a great fighter.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I agree.
Great.
But
yeah.
He's like, what's that guy, Pavernak, the Ghost? Those are the two best white fighters I've seen in the last 20 years.
So he lost to Calzaghe back in 08. I researched this, and I watched a bit of the highlights.
Yeah,
I don't watch much
It's a
boxing.
good fight.
Calzaghe's sick.
Calzaghe. Is that it?
Calzaghe's
Calzaghe,
sick.
yeah.
Yes.
I didn't
He's a
know
good
that.
fighter.
I saw his records like 46-0.
Yeah.
He's a great fighter. He's a great fighter.
Never heard of you.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh.
I didn't. Well, I sort of heard of him, but I never knew he was 46-0. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever his record was.
I make an argument
That's
that he's
insane.
better than Rocky Marciano. But whoa.
Anyways.
Oh, hey, we can go there if you like.
And then he got knocked out of the ring by
It's crazy.
No?
No. Look, Calzaghe's a great fighter.
Okay.
No doubt.
Okay.
Rocky Marciano was fighting people like an athlete. He was fighting at a level where the weight of the gloves were different.
Mm-hmm.
The quality of the gloves were different. The leather that was being used was like being smacked in the face with a tiny, tiny fridge.
Mm-hmm.
Like the things that Marciano was able to do in the career, the storied career that he has, were something like nothing will ever compare to that, to me, as someone who loves boxing, who
Okay.
thinks that what he did was like, obviously there's always fights that you could question whether the person won decisively, but do I think Calzaghe is on the next level as like Marciano?
Okay, I want to say this.
Like who's because Calzaghe, you know what he did? Calzaghe stayed in Europe,
Yeah,
making paper,
dominating.
and
As an amateur.
afraid to come to the U.S.
Oh, not afraid. Not
to
afraid.
come to Canada.
Okay.
He wouldn't even go to Australia.
Okay,
Come on,
hold on.
tell me what he won. Tell me what he won.
Afraid. He came and he fought Roy Jones Jr.
Who's old?
Oh yeah, I remember that. I
Beat
remember
him.
that fight.
He was old. Punch drunk.
He wasn't that.
Yes.
He wasn't in his prime, but he wasn't.
He
He
was
wasn't-
in
he
his
wasn't-
latter years.
Okay, what about and then B-Hop, Bernard Hopkins,
Okay.
someone who, and that's what made me think, because when he said about a white man will not beat me,
Yeah.
and Calzaghe took him out
Of course.
and boxed with him.
Yo, Bernard talks a lot of shit, and he
So
was
much.
he was really trying. You could see like 2 hours or 3 hours before that fight on Saturday, he actually sent out a message saying, "Yo, come to the fight." Always the showman, always the promoter, because he knew it wasn't sold out,
Mm.
right?
Right.
Like, so he wanted to have a send off. He hand chose this New York young buck
Mm.
who had only lost once. So it's not like he was picking a softie for his
Yeah.
last fight. But he also was like, he should have retired a while ago. Like, you can't have a 50-year-old man
That's what I was saying.
fighting a 25-year-old buck,
Mm.
right? Because the buck's going to win. And like the fact that he was so decisively knocked out of the ring, first time in his career he's been knocked out
Mm.
and literally knocked out of the ring. I'm always going to remember that. And I'm going to diminish the great quality fighter that Hopkins was as a result of this fight.
He shouldn't have fought
He
this.
should have never fought this.
I lost my train of thought.
You're calling about. We said that he lost in 08, and you're talking about.
Oh yeah, how he said he lost. He would never lose to a white guy.
Yeah, and he did.
And then he lost twice. And then got knocked out, like out of the ring.
Out of the ring.
Like literally.
Out.
Literally.
Out.
And then he said, then he got up and he's like, "Oh, you pushed me."
He pushed me out.
And then
Yeah.
he said, my ankle hurts. And then he said, "Where's Sebastian Giovinco so I can complain like
So
this?"
that's just Giovinco excuses, man.
It's too bad though, because like he was a great fighter. He fought some legendary fighters himself,
Mhm.
and it's just too bad that he waited too long. Like he stayed too long,
Right.
and I feel like
This is like
plus
his third
40,
retirement. Yeah.
you gotta leave. And like
Right.
I hope he never ever ever comes back. I hope he saved his money.
Oh no,
and,
he's part of Golden Boy Promotions.
Oh, I didn't
he's-
know. Oh,
yeah,
good.
so he's
De La
a-
Hoya. He's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
He's
So
set. He's
he's
set.
yeah.
Okay.
He didn't even need the fight really.
Yeah, he just-
Exactly.
It just seemed like perfect timing that this Joe
Ego.
Smith Jr. Yeah,
Ego, right?
Joe Smith Jr. beat Andre Fonfara, who's like a really good
Mhm.
boxer, and Joe Smith Jr. was the underdog, and everyone was just like, "What the heck happened? How would he beat this guy?" And then perfect timing, boom. Just want to go over real quick who he has beat in his career. Hopkins, Antonio Tarver, he beat him.
Great fighter.
Winky Wright,
Very good fighter.
De La Hoya,
Amazing fighter.
Felix Trinidad.
The best Puerto Rican, probably since. No, the best. I just-
The
like,
best,
yeah,
right?
he's the best. I love Trinidad.
I like his last name because I'm from Trinidad.
Trinidad.
Okay.
Sorry, put my country out there.
He's lost to Kovalev, Sergey Kovalev, Joe Calzaghe, as you mentioned, and Joe Smith Jr. So I mean, like he's done. These are like big names. Others, but these are the names that like quality names that. So I mean, B-Hop, you say you're calling them out.
Oh yeah.
Yes, call out. But you know what? At the end of the day, if his career,
I'm not calling it his career.
Yeah, yeah.
Calling him
I'm
out
just
the
calling
fact
out for
that
the
he
fact
fought.
that he
no, I
fought.
Why is he
understand. I understand.
fighting?
For the
Complaining
fight.
about how he lost.
Retired.
Understand.
If I was his friend or whoever, I'd be like, bro, don't fight, man. Just relax. Sit down. Have a seat, sir. Have a seat.
Right.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Why that's a call out.
Oh, I want to call up and call out a little bit. Kind of weird. The Atlanta Falcons. Because Atlanta Falcons have made it to the NFL, I think, playoffs about 4 times now. and they always can never make it to the actual big stage. And I don't know if Matt Ryan, like, they're winning without Julio Jones, which is amazing. But I'm wondering, can Matt Ryan actually get it right this year?
No.
Yet.
No.
And I feel bad for the guy because he won Rookie of the Year. Like, he's a really good quarterback, but he's never gotten to the big stage yet. And I'm just curious to see if he can get there. I mean, the NFC looks really very competitive. There is Dallas, right? They have to go through
Dallas ain't
to
gonna
get
make
there.
it.
I think they'll be out actually.
They'll be out like first or second. They'll be gone.
Yeah, I think so. But the Falcons, I mean, I'm calling them up because they are winning by many points, right? And they're dominating, like, they have big games. But also calling them up because I don't know if they're gonna do anything in the playoffs. I feel like it might be the same typical Matt Ryan. Hey, great regular season, but then playoffs be flop. So.
Yeah, I think they have a history of doing well. They're like, to me, they're almost like San Francisco of old, doing well, and then once they get to the playoffs, not doing consistently well, or like getting to the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think it's hard in the era that he's in because you have some amazing quarterbacks. You have these beasts. Like, if I was making a video game quarterback, I would be making Cam.
Yeah.
I'd be making Aaron.
Cam who?
He hates Cam. But Cam, but
You
in the
hate
last
Cam?
Oh, he's
he hates
garbage.
Cam, yeah.
He's like one of the worst QBs I've ever seen.
But
That
he's
is
the last two
crazy.
What happened this year?
I'm not judging you for visually impaired, man. That's okay. But like, he's a
I'm visually impaired after what he wore to the press conference.
Hey, he wore a tie.
no one
thank
said he had
God.
style. I
He
never
wore
said he
a
had
tie
style.
because he might get benched again.
But
Yeah.
he's an amazing quarterback.
He's falling for the scam too.
Yeah, I fell for that scam. I bought that in.
Yeah.
If I got tattoos, I put like that whole like stance on. I don't wear tattoos, but if I did, I would.
No, it's true. Like, this era of quarterbacks, Tom. I mean, like, he was playing with Tom, Peyton Manning,
Aaron.
like Aaron. Like, there's a lot. Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, Kurt
Big
Warner.
Ben.
Right? Like, they were like all in his era. Like, it's hard out here for a brother named Matt Ryan.
It is.
It's hard for him out
It
here.
is.
So we'll see. But good job again. Good. I mean, they've gotten some really good games, but I'm calling them out because in the playoffs, I expect that. Wah wah wah. Yeah.
I'm gonna call out the Vegas Golden Knights.
Who they be?
Is this lacrosse? Are we talking lacrosse? What is this?
CFO.
Yeah, the new NHL team from Vegas,
New cereal?
What's that name?
the Vegas Golden Knights.
Holy shit, that's a bad name.
Yeah,
Bad.
So
That is-
he-
that's like the
Where the
Anaheim
gold
Ducks. That's up there. That's how bad that name is.
It's like a Disney movie. It's like a Disney show.
Good Disney movie. Terrible name.
yeah. The reason I'm calling them out is they didn't do the dude. It's like Bush League actually, not just the name, but the fact that, just the fact that,
The horrible name.
yeah, the name is bad, but they didn't do their research. There is a college team,
Army.
the Army, who has Golden Knights also, and they actually went to apply for a trademark for the name, and the
so
trademark
bad.
U.S. Trademark Office has denied it.
Of course.
Of course.
Okay, so.
Of course they did.
But thing is, the problem is they have their logo, they printed out
Oh,
shirts,
no.
Okay.
merch, all this
So-
merch.
That's some
Who's
bad-
getting fired? Because,
Amateur.
First of
Someone's
all,
losing
who's
their job.
getting fired? Because
So they
I
gotta change their name.
there's a team of people
They're
whose
not-
job is to research eligible names
Right.
for trademarking, right?
Right.
So your number one
No,
role.
no, but that's the difference though. They're not being forced to change their name.
I know that, but they're
Oh.
trying to trademark it. Clearly, you cannot.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
But the Cardinals, like St. Louis Cardinals, Louisville Cardinals, they haven't trademarked
I
it.
Right.
know that, but
Or
I'm saying
Boston Bruins,
but
UCLA,
my thing is
UCLA
that
Bruins, sorry.
they tried to trademark the name in the first place. Why
Yeah.
even bother?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Like, there's nothing special about that name to me to think that you're gonna go through all that hassle
trademark.
to get that
It's
name.
a horrible name.
Horrible
Like,
name.
If you walk down in anywhere,
Worse than the
Old
Raptors,
Vegas,
actually.
New Vegas, and you say, "Hey, we're gonna have an NHL team, and this is what the team's name is gonna be," no one would choose this.
No.
Golden Knights.
Golden
Knights.
Knights. Golden
My
Knights.
goodness.
Horrible name.
Pick a
Golden
Star
Knights.
Wars name, guy. Pick a Darth Vader. Pick something. Some kind of gangster name. Some kind of villain name.
Could have went with
Golden
like
Knights.
Gold Knights maybe or something. That would
Yeah.
even be better.
We're the Golden Knights. It's like even
Yeah.
the like saying it out loud sounds stupid.
I like Gold Mountain.
What, the
Gold-
Vegas Gold Mountain?
Yes, I like
Gold-
that name. Gold Mountain. I'm just throwing it out there. Gold Mountain.
Oh my
Well,
If
the
anyone's
gold-
listening to this, Gold Mountain, Las Vegas.
Well, the Gold Diggers.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna call out the UFC. I'm gonna call him out for stripping good old Conor McGregor of his second championship to prop up a shitty UFC card in Toronto to a interim welterweight belt fight. They
That's
took
so
his
dumb.
championship away from him, and they made it another. They ascended Aldo, who was knocked out in 13 seconds by Conor McGregor, and they're like, "Well, now you're the champion. Good on you." And they did it strategically as a business move, and I'm gonna call him out because it's disappointing that someone who's made history in combat sports was treated so poorly. But I can't help but think that this was a financial and logistic move, because any of you that were watching the press conference at the end of 205, Conor McGregor said, "I'm gonna have a kid. I need to get my shit right. I want to be set for the rest of my life. I have generated the highest pay-per-view of any combat athlete. This is including boxing. This is including Muay Thai. This is including K1 of any pay-per-view over the last 5 years.
Even more than Floyd?
Well, not including. No, we're not.
Okay.
We're not including.
You said boxing, so I wasn't
we're not
sure. Okay,
including
okay.
Floyd and Pac.
Okay.
Everything
Yeah.
else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Floyd and Pac is going to be beat at some point, probably when Floyd fights Conor. If they ever do, that would beat everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he's bringing the money. He's generated the money, tons and tons of money. And he said, "You know what I want? I want ownership."
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Right. So I want you to just think about this. At 205, he probably cleared 4 million straight in pay-per-view percentage. And that was the biggest pay-per-view that UFC had. There were fighters on that card that I watched in New York that were going 10 and 10. $10,000 to fight and $10,000 to win.
Wow.
The disparity between these athletes is immense.
Mm-hmm.
Is huge. So I'm going to call out UFC again for a lack of union,
Yes.
a lack of like ability for fighters to promote themselves. And I know, my friend here, you don't like Conor McGregor, but the fact that he's asking for ownership is a hugely positive thing for all fighters.
Yeah.
That someone has the chutzpah, the balls of steel to say, "Hey guys, I made you a shitload of money. You owe me.
Yeah.
And you're going to owe me for the rest of my life because I got you this.
Yes.
I got you this." You're on ESPN when no one was talking about you 5 years on ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the odds of him leaving UFC?
I think they're pretty good. I think that if he doesn't get what he wants, he's going to move over to Bellator, which is the
Bellator,
biggest competition to UFC. And if he does that, that breaks UFC.
Of course.
Because there are only 2 fighters that can generate over 100,000 pay-per-view buys consistently, and that is Ronda Rousey and Conor McGregor. Rousey's about to get knocked out at 207. She's going to get knocked out in Vegas, and then Conor McGregor is going to be sitting at his home, maybe in his like beautiful Bentley, kissing his wife and saying, "Thank you, because you have nothing without me.
Without
If
me.
you don't give me what I want, I'm going to break you.
Boy, bye.
Bye-bye. See you later."
Call up Craig Sager.
Nice.
Craig Sager, man.
Call up. Good call up.
Good call up.
Go ahead.
Great
And not
call-out.
because of the suits he wore.
No.
Do you guys all know how he started?
No. How
No.
you
His
start?
very
us.
first interview ever?
No.
Who? No, who?
He ran on the field when Hank Aaron hit his 715th home run.
Right.
That was Craig Sager's first ever
That's
interview.
amazing.
That's
He ran on the field.
incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since, he's been probably the best sideline reporter ever since.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Right.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I agree.
Amazing.
NBA, baseball. He started in baseball, went to football for a bit, and then
Mm-hmm.
just stuck with TNT, TBS
Yeah.
for like 30 years.
I admired him not only because of what he did for the sport. If you guys watched, he had a documentary about like this guy would wake up every day 5 a.m., do chemotherapy, jump on a plane to go and be at a game, and he did this every day.
It's amazing.
And he said to himself, he's like, life is too short. I refuse to let my sickness take me away from the court, because he loved sports so much. He's like, I will not let anything get in my way. So he would wake up and do chemotherapy on the road every day. And his wife said he loves it. She's like, if he was home and didn't do this, his job, she felt like he would probably like not pass away sooner. So the fact that he was staying busy and doing what he loves, it just like told you how much like life is so valuable. And like seeing someone like that love sports to the point where they just sacrificed, they worked hard every day. I admire him so much. So yeah.
Yeah, left behind a really good legacy because everyone loved him.
Yeah. Yeah.
All athletes.
He was a man.
Yeah, he was an amazing sideline reporter. Just amazing, like good person. Like that story is like is reflective on someone's like passion and like the passion that he had to go through chemotherapy and like still continue to work, that's amazing on its own, right? Because there's people that like that when they're going through chemo, they're going through radiation, they can't compete at all in anything. They can't do anything. And the fact that he willed himself into action is amazing. Testament to what kind of person he was and what kind of, sports lover he was.
Yes.
Cool.
I'm calling up the Atlanta Hawks quick for walking into Toronto and dropping 125 on them.
Really?
Oh, really? Come on.
Okay, let him have it. That's okay.
Let me have
Okay,
it.
we'll
The
let you have
revenge.
it.
The revenge is sweet.
Okay, well, you have it. I actually wanna call out the Pistons. Stan Van Gundy, he's so gully. So this guy's the best. So they asked him in an interview. They asked him, are they better with Reggie Jackson? And this guy said, "Hell no, we've gotten worse."
Wow.
That's what he said.
They're worse with him?
That's what he said. That's what he said. I think the troubles of the Pistons, he believes, as a coach, he feels that guys aren't passing the ball. They're being selfish. So if the guy's open on offensively, he doesn't get the ball, he gets upset. And on defensively, he gets frustrated and doesn't want to play defense. So he thinks that the ball's not moving enough. They're playing selfish. There's no communication. So anyway, Stan Van Gundy, you're gully, bro. Gangsta.
Nice.
You know what? I want to call up. I'm heading to the Australian Open in not too long. So
Really?
Yes.
Like
So-
you're heading to...
I'm
What
going
Australia?
to Oz. To the Australian
So
Open.
wicked.
All right.
I traveled a lot.
Last
My
year I
goodness.
was lucky enough to go to Wimbledon and the U.S. Open, and I'm a big tennis fan, so I'm going to be heading to Australia to finish it off with one of my best
Nice.
friends. And I'm going to call up Nadal and Federer, the two greatest. Whoa. You better give me some facts if you're going to diss Nadal.
I'm Serbian. Djokovic is the best tennis player ever.
Djokovic is
Ever.
shit. You know what his record is? Djokovic.
On clay?
No. Djokovic has won 12 Grand Slams and not lost 9. He won 12 and he lost 9. You know what Nadal's record in Grand Slams is? 14 wins, 6 losses. 6
Nadal's
losses.
a bit older too, so
No. Don't tell me he's older. If you look at the Grand Slam finals record between Nadal and Novak
Right.
Djokovic, Nadal is winning 4-3. 4-3.
Yeah.
And you know what I would say? Novak is a
No,
fundamentally
but I'm saying,
better
like, wait
tennis
for-
player. He has no heart. That's why
Djokovic has no heart.
That's why people don't like Novak.
Wow.
You know what?
okay.
As someone who's dated some lovely, beautiful Serbian women, what's up, Andrea? Do I think he is a great ambassador to Serbia? 100%. Do I think people love him in tennis? No, not at all. Because when I was at Wimbledon this year, you can see my interview on TSN. When I was interviewed.
Yeah,
by
Wimbledon
TSN.
against Andy Murray.
When I was in Wimbledon, no, people don't like Andy Murray because Andy Murray said he was a Scotsman. He never said, I am from Great Britain. He said, I'm from Scotland.
Yeah,
So when
yeah.
I walked around with my crew of Canadians asking people who they loved, everyone said, we want anyone but the number 1 player, Novak Djokovic, to win.
Wow.
Why? Because
He's the
we hate
greatest.
him because he disrespects the game. And here's a good example of disrespecting the game. He won one of the longest matches in history. And what did he do? Man went over to his fan crew, his coach and stuff, banged the wall and ripped off his shirt. He didn't go to his opponent and say, great match. I'm glad we could blade and
Yeah,
sweet and
that's
play
what
this long
tennis-
match, which every tennis player has ever done.
Exactly,
custom.
yeah,
And it's custom, it's
yeah.
tradition, and it's a beautiful tradition that you can play someone and do your best, and you know that on your best day it was not enough against someone else, and congratulate them. He did not do that. He's also done things like throw his ball, his racket.
Who did he play?
Yeah.
Who did he play in that match?
He was playing. He did that multiple times. He's done that against Nadal. He did that once against Milos, where he ripped off his shirt after he
Milos.
won. Milos got no heart either. And Milos is
Yeah,
so like,
Trash.
do I think Novak's a great player? Sure, but you know what? Let's look at the records and the facts. If you win 12 Grand Slams and lose 9,
Yeah.
you are not the best.
Yeah.
If you have won 14
And
and lost
lost
6,
six.
and 4 of those wins against your man Novak, then you are not the worst one. You were the best one. How do you
That's a
like
good-
them apples?
Boom. Ronda
He's only
Rousey
won.
style.
How many times did he beat Djokovic on clay? Probably all 4. He's never beaten Djokovic on hard court or
Of,
grass.
of course he has, my friend, because if you look at
In
history,
a title?
I'm sorry, brother, I don't want to school you on tennis, but the U.S. Open that was won in 2010 and 2013,
2010.
U.S. Open hard court is where he won. He beat Novak Djokovic to claim all 4 Grand Slams by beating Novak, and when he won it a second time, he beat Novak Djokovic again on a hard court. When he beat him in Beijing on a hard court. When he beat him at the Olympics on a hard court. So don't tell me that the man is better on a hard
Who's
court.
number 1 in the world right now? And the
Andy Murray,
conversation.
brother. Andy Murray.
Andy Murray,
Go
please.
check your
Jay-
tennis facts,
Jay-
brother. Go
Jay-
check your
Jay-
tennis facts.
Jay, you
Jay
got
done
you
lost.
got
Done.
Tap out.
Tap out.
Just tap out. Just tap
Jay
out.
got
I'm
punted
not-
on
Tap
tennis
out.
court. Just,
I'm
you
not
know.
Conor McGregor. I'm not tapping out.
All right. Hugo.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing, bruh.
Thank you very much for coming.
Drop
Loved it.
some knowledge.
You guys are awesome. This is awesome. Loved it.
Nice.
Come again when we talk some figure skating. I'll be here.
And
Brian Boitano.
the thing is, he's serious, by the way.
I know.
That's
I know.
not a joke.
Listen, from when he called somebody's name is Dragon, I don't play. Okay,
Call me Dragon.
call him Dragon. This man.
All day.
Too much.
All right. So once again, thanks for coming
Cool.
out,
Thanks a
Hugo.
lot.
Thank
All right.
you.
So at Season Rookies Podcast, we're going to take a long break after 20 episodes.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. So yeah, we're 20 deep. Look for us in 21 in the future. Looking to make moves. And we'll call that a wrap. This is Prez.
Enjoy.
And Nelly.
We out.
That's the way you say it when you're feeling blue. Xmas. When you're blue at Christmas time, you see right through all the waste, all the sham, all the haste, and plain old bad taste.